Hello and welcome to Educated STEM. I am Kate, the founder of Educated STEM, and today we're going to talk about something that's really important and maybe not something that you've ever done, and that is creating a budget. Now I know what you're thinking, Kate, why on earth do I need to do this? And you're going to have to do this multiple times in your life. So, just get it right the first time and then just update the information as you go. So to help you out, I have a template that you can download from Educated STEM on my Patreon page. And so it's pretty comprehensive. I think I've got everything covered, but let me know, comment down below if I've missed something, if you get it. And so what I want you to consider is you're going to want to do a budget every time before you get a new job. If you get a pay raise, if there is a life change, so you have a child, you get a divorce, you get a pet, whatever that is, you're going to want to work on and revise your budget, because the last thing that you want to do is go into a job interview, nail it, they offer you what sounds like a fantastic salary, and you come back and then a few months in to the job, you're like, whoa, this does not stretch as far as I thought it would. And if you had done your budget beforehand, you could have negotiated a little harder. It doesn't always work, but if you know what amount is the lowest amount that you want to accept, it will definitely help you move forward in those negotiations. And so even if you're thinking about graduate school, this is a wonderful tool for you to be able to figure out, will that stipend stretch for everything that I need to pay for? And if it doesn't, are you willing to go into debt in order to go to that program? So what is going to be on your budget and how are you going to work it? So I have 4 columns, a generic category, a description, an amount per month, and then an amount per year, because depending on how you're billed, you may be paying for things monthly or annually. So the first big expense, housing. Do you pay a mortgage or is it rent? Do you have taxes? Are there homeowners association fees? And what are your utility bills? So electricity, gas, water, phone, internet, garbage removal. Do you have insurance for the house and also the contents within the house? And also something to consider is cleaning, maintenance and repairs. I know that an awful lot of us are blindsided when something happens in the house and you're like, oh no, I do not want to buy this new fridge or whatever it is. But when something goes wrong and you need to have it replaced immediately, you would like to have some money set aside in order to let that happen. Next category, transportation. So, do you own a car? Do you have regular car payments, the insurance, the registration fee? Are you a member of AAA for towing and recovery or something similar? Do you have repairs and tires and different things? Do you have to pay for petrol, as I would say, or gas, as Americans would say? Or is it an electric car and you have to think about the costs of electricity? Do you take public transport? So whether that's a bus or a train, do you occasionally fly places? So if you are going to school or if you live away from home, do you have to then fly back? So let's pop all of these things in here. Another thing that you might not have considered, car parking costs. So depending on where you work, a perk might be free car parking, but they might also charge you probably a monthly fee, and that can be quite steep to the hundreds of dollars. So let's consider that before you move on. Obviously, you've got to eat. So what are your food costs? Do you go to a supermarket? Do you go to a farmer's market? Do you eat out or do you get food delivered in? Obviously, right now with COVID, you're probably getting a lot of food delivered, whether that's from the supermarket or whether it's food that has been prepared for you. So again, what are those costs? Do you have a family to support? Whether that's a childcare cost, so do you pay for daycare, or are you fortunate enough to have a nanny, child support. You might also have to provide support for other family members, so grandparents, parents, or siblings. And then on top of that, do you have to pay anything for schooling? So, there might be certain fees that you have to consider. So let's get all of that onto the budget. Do you have a pet? Obviously you've got to feed them. They're going to have vet bills. Do you have to groom them? Do you have pet insurance? Do you have to house them? Some people own horses and they have to pay someone to kind of look after their horse when they're not there. So again, let's pop all of those things on here. Now, a key thing, medical bills, especially in America. So if you go to the doctor, do you have co-pays? Do you have prescriptions, glasses and contact lenses? How much is covered by your insurance and how much do you have to cover? Medical insurance payments, life insurance payments, all of those sorts of things. Clothing and shoes, you've got to have clothes to wear unless you're working at a nudist colony or something similar. So again, do you purchase new or used clothes? Obviously with things like Rent the Runway, you can now rent amazing clothes and send them back the following week. So is that something that you want to do, or is that something that you regularly do? Laundry or dry cleaning, especially if you're wearing an awful lot of suits. A lot of places you can't buy suits that go into the washer, so you're going to have to get that dry cleaned. That is an additional expense. And also something you might not have considered, shoe maintenance. So if you spend hundreds of dollars on a pair of shoes, then maybe you want to get them rehealed or looked after from time to time versus wearing them down and then throwing them out. Something to think about. It's better for the environment. Now, your appearance. So do you get your hair cut done? Hair products, if you wear makeup, things like that is definitely something to consider. And obviously, bath products. So another one, memberships. What are you a member of? Whether that is some sort of association or a gym. So do you have memberships dues to pay, and is that a monthly or recurring fee? Bills and debts, not something that we really want to think about, but it's definitely something that is very urgent. So cell phone, credit cards, student loans, any other loans that you might have taken out. Do you have any other obligations that you have to put aside every month? So try and be as comprehensive as possible to make sure that your budget is as accurate as possible. I like to think about further education costs. I'm constantly learning, whether that's taking courses, buying books. You have to think about these things. So pop all of that in. Your taxes, so federal, state. If you don't do it yourself and you work with a tax advisor, there's going to be an associated cost. Now, here's something that you're probably going to be like, Kate, no, I'm a graduate student, or I'm a postdoc, or I'm very early in my career, and so I don't have enough money to do savings and retirement. But let me tell you, the sooner you start, the easier it becomes. So let me tell you a story. My husband works in finance, and on one of our very first dates, he took me aside and was like, Kate, let's talk about savings and retirement. Do you do that? And I kind of laughed in his face and I was like, no, honey, I'm a postdoc. I don't earn enough money for that. I'm spending it on survival and living. And so I got this lecture about living responsibly, and that the sooner I started, the easier it would be. And so we agreed that I would start trying to save a nominal amount of money every month. So, whether it was $50 or $100. And then, once I'd done that for a few months, I then increased it a little bit and then increased it further. And then as I began getting pay raises, basically the difference in my pay raise got moved into savings or retirement. And so gradually I was saving more and more money. And so that was fantastic because it gives you a cushion if something goes wrong, but it also helps you for your retirement, because if you start saving earlier, the money has the chance of earning interest and compounding to an awful lot more later on in your life. So it's better to start saving even a small amount as soon as you can, versus having to start throwing money at the problem much later on in life. So pay yourself before you pay other people. It might be a little bit of a sacrifice, but even 25 bucks put away, that is going to be helpful at the end of the day. So whatever you can spare, put it into savings or put it into your retirement account. Now, discretionary. And notice I said savings before discretionary, because that is important. Whether you have money to do your discretionary things, it's obviously lovely. And you may feel that you can't live without your streaming service, going to movies, getting your reading materials, whether that's Kindle or magazines, paying for gifts, vacations, or charitable giving. But at the end of the day, when it's time to retire, you need the money there. So put that away first, and then extra money or a little bit of money can go to your discretionary things. So I then want you to figure out, whether it was a monthly cost, an annual cost, and then you can figure out how much money ideally will you be taking home at the minimum every year. And I also want you to consider that even if you earn, let's say, for the sake of ease, $50,000 a year, that is not the amount you take home, because once you remove taxes, it's going to be less. So this is the amount you need after you have taken taxes out. So that is a key thing to bear in mind when you're being given offers, when you're looking at whether you can afford to live on this stipend or this job offer. So key things, go and get the template so that you complete it, Educated STEM, on Patreon. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Follow Educated STEM on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon. Please pop your comments below. Let me know if there's anything I've missed on my template. I tried to be as comprehensive as possible, but there may be something that I've missed. So let me know. And I hope this really helps. Budgeting, it's not fun, but it definitely helps you figure out, where you stand financially. And if you want to save up for something large, then the only way to really do that is to understand your budget. And I would hate for you to accept a job offer that you think is absolutely fantastic and then find out a few months later that it doesn't pay enough in order for you to pay for your basics. So, good luck completing your budget.